Well, the world is watching as Ghana votes on December 7th. Already there's been a call for peaceful and credible elections, which indeed impact trade activities. The president of the Ghana Union of Traders Association, Dr. Joseph Obeng, is concerned of an unstable business climate for traders if spikes of political violence are dealt with once and for all. Dr. Joseph Obeng, of course, warns that a heated political climate before, during or after the 2020 elections will spell doom for importers and traders alike, whose businesses thrive on peace, a stable economy and democracy. To expand this discussion, we're joined by Frank Agyekum, the Executive Secretary of the Ghana International Trade Commission, as well as Dr. Joseph Obeng, who will join us later, the President of the Ghana Union of Traders Association. So thank you very much for being a part of this program. Let me start off with you, Frank Agyekum. Paint to us a vivid picture of how international trade with Ghana will be impacted should elections be violent and less credible.
Well, thank you very much, Charles, and pleasure to be on your program. One of the basic precepts of liberal economists and political economy is that trade that facilitates peace, because when you trade with one another, you begin to understand one another better, and therefore, and also because you've made investments in each other's country or in each other's domain, you tend to protect that, and therefore you didn't want any upheaval to come and disturb that. You lose your profits, you lose everything. And basically, in our home country, in any country at all where there's violence, the production materials begin to cease. Your farmers can't go to the farm to produce the material that is needed to feed the industries, to make them churn out the finished products that you can then export for sale. You're unable to get the farm produce that you are able to take outside to sell and then make profits. Workers are unable to go to work. You can't go to the metal factory. You can't go to the mines to do anything. All activities cease because there's violence. And when there's violence, the first thing anybody's trying to do is to preserve life, save their lives and their families and their properties. So then when there's violence and there's chaos in any country, the economic basics for production and for export and for trading, even among the local people, ceases. And it brings hardships all around. And internationally begin to lose that because you are able to trade with your international partners in exchange goods where you can export and then import products from them as well. So peace is essential and very important for any domain at all, and also for the liberal economies that we are trying to operate. And this political system, we need to have peace to enable us to go on the way we want to go and to develop the way we want to. We have seen pictures in films, on TV, in the media, everywhere. We've seen people where there's violence in their countries, moving out of their countries with their luggages, with their wherewithal on their backs and in their heads, trying to find a place of peace where they can settle and just let basic existence go on. And that should tell us that where we do not have peace, then nothing can go on. And the importance of election is that in liberal political systems, elections is the bedrock of who should govern the country, who should rule the country. And if the election process, which is basic to how we progress and how we move on, is faulted and leads to chaos, then of course, the whole process itself is then compromised. And so election is important that in the elections, we have peace, we have transparency, we have an election system that is credible and accepted by all stakeholders, so that when the results come out, everybody accepts them and we can move on from there.
So basically, the picture will be a gloomy one should elections go violent and not credible. But the Ghana International Trade Commission has been at the forefront of executing fair trade practices. To this end, how do you tie in these elections to your scope of ensuring that trade and elections are on a very smooth level?
Well, as I said, without elections, the very core of developing the country becomes compromised. And if the country's basics of production and of manufacture and of interaction and of trade is compromised, then of course you can't even talk about fair trade, or you can't even talk about unfair trade because you have nothing to trade with.
Sure. And so I get that point, but I wanted to find out, so what will be the position of the GITC moving forward, especially as we gear up to the elections?
Well, our position is that, we pray for peaceful elections. We pray that the election system is acceptable by all. We in Ghana have been on this precipice for so many times. This is the 8th time we are going to elections. And at any point in election time, we've had to come to this stage where everybody thinks that, where there's apprehension. But we've always crossed that stage, and I believe we are going to cross that stage. Because for us as international, looking at the international trading systems, it is important that we are able to have some such system that will give credence and credibility to our people, our partners outside who want to trade with us. Because if they cannot come into a country where there's violence, where there's chaos, and where the basics are unstable, nobody wants to do trade with you. And in that case, especially because you are not able to produce and therefore export, people began to dump things on you. And you have to take them because you are not able to counter, in the sense that you are unable to produce, to even able to get enough to pay out. So whatever comes to you, you begin to accept it, and that is not good for the economy.
Mr. Frank Ejikun, we're so grateful that you joined us for this discussion. He's Executive Secretary of the Ghana International Trade Commission, there, gearing their scope on election issues and the impact on trade should everything go haywire. But, of course, also joining us via phone is the president of the Ghana Union of Traders Association. We're staying on this issue, especially when we're having our special voting exercise today. You can see live pictures. There are pictures that we got in the course of the special voting early on this morning. But Dr. Joseph Obeng, we're so grateful that you joined us. Your call has been for peace, peace, peace. How are you preparing traders ahead of the December elections?
Yeah. Our mandate as traders and also as equal stakeholders of the state is to just make sure that we go on the election day to vote and peacefully return to our houses. The onus lies on the politicians also to do same without bringing any chaos, because you know that business thrives on a peaceful environment, and we don't want any action either through any politician or any troublemaker to put a stop the peace that we are enjoying. And so we appeal to all the politicians. We know that we have a lot of well-meaning politicians, but they should be able to call the troublemakers among them to order, so that we can all continue to enjoy our peace.
Okay.
I'll also take opportunity to entreat on all other stakeholders, because we, the politicians, are just under 10% out of the population of about 30 million. Remaining over 90%, we are all equal stakeholders, and we should be able to join hands to reprimand any troublemaker. You know, the law courts are there for anybody to have his redress, and that we expect that once everything is enshrined in the Constitution, we should follow through what the details of the Constitution to address all grievances that might arise.
But Dr. Joseph Obeng, so help us understand, on election day, are we going to be having traders open their shops? Is that going to be the case, especially when some of them are calling for it to be a holiday?
Oh, I don't think it's necessary. Normally, we will go and vote and go and do our business. In fact, those things even calm down tensions. Then it means that everybody is doing his legitimate business, whilst those who haven't gone to vote will go. It won't put a lot of concentration at the voting areas. So I'm not one of those who will call for holiday. It will bring unnecessary tension. It will let people congregate at the voting area. People should do their normal businesses while it goes on. It's just one of the normal days. We are going to show our mind. We're going to vote and show where we belong. And that's it. There's nothing more about voting, and there's not. It shouldn't be seen that this is something that haven't happened here in the country. We know, and we are now very used to this.
Okay.
And so we are not perturbed about it. some of these things.
Okay, Dr. Joseph Obeng, we're so grateful that you joined us. He's the president of the Ghana Union of Traders Association. In the past 15 minutes, we have been giving you details on the impact of the elections on businesses. We shall be keeping an eye, especially ahead of December 7, to give you more stories.